All right, so we got a real estate deal that we're looking at right now. I've been back and forth with the owners for a few weeks now. So let me show you the deal. It is three duplexes, and it's about 10 minutes from where I live, and it's pretty close to Augusta and all of that. So kind of a nice spot for location-wise. I would not be managing them. I don't have the time for that. The reason for this is really for kind of parking the money. Recently, 2020, the stock market was able to make some money doing that, and I'm not wanting to pay taxes and wanting to put it in something where I can get some good tax deductions, which is real estate, because of depreciation and things like that. So I do not want to have a massive tax bill in 2020, so we're trying to figure out where I can put this money and kind of park it. It's not going to be a great cash flow deal, so I want to run you through the deal and just show you some of the numbers and what we've offered, what we've encountered, and what the cash flow would look like. And again, this is not like a slam dunk cash flow deal. It's not like a 2% return, like a 2% deal, or I'm not getting like 20% cash on cash returns. There's nothing crazy. I'm not flipping these. These are not like in distress or in rehab. I don't have the time to manage them. I don't have the time to get in there and gut them all. But it's more about getting a decent cash flow where I can write off the taxes and get some tax benefits. So let's run the numbers. This is the deal right now. It's in Ferndale. It's like 10 minutes from here. These are actually three duplexes that share a parking lot with a fourth building. I really want that fourth building, and in the future, I'm gonna contact the seller and try to buy it off market. But for now, this is what we're working with. And these duplexes, I'm gonna open up this one. They were all built in 2008. And so it's not like they are falling apart. They're decently improved, and I've been inside one of them already. And they're all the duplexes are 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, like families can live here. A couple different things that I look at when it comes to this. First of all, I'm not a huge fan of the location. It's close to I-5. Fortunately, there's a forest between. Here, I'll show you here. This is the map. So I-5 is like the busiest, highway in our county. Let's see here. Can I pull up a different map? Yeah, this is I-5 right here. This is Cedar Street, where the units are at. And so not a big fan of that. There is a big forest here, so there's not like a lot of sound issues from the I-5. It just, in general, you don't want to be like by massive roadways, simply due to the fact that kids run out in roads, things like that. However, that's not really an issue here because there is a big forest area. 532 is a bad price. There's a reason why this thing's been on the market for 291 days. If you see that, almost always you can count on the fact that the price is overvalued, and you can tell that that's the case as well because they started this off at 539, and they've slowly reduced the price. Now it's 532. So when I went in, I wanted to do a lowball offer simply due to the fact that it's been on the market for so long. They know it's overpriced. They want to get moving on the deal. The fact is that the owners are an elderly couple that's going to move to Oregon. This is kind of like the last thing holding them back. Because of COVID, they were kind of the impression like, hey, let's keep the price the same. They're making decent amount of cash flow in this deal because they bought it when they built these in 2009. So they're probably cash flowing like 30-40% crazy goodness because they built it, and so they're sitting on them. So I did a lowball offer. I did $483 a pop, basically $1.5 million for all three. Because they're duplexes, I was able to do residential and just a standard loan, just conventional lending, instead of doing a commercial loan where they're going to want 35 to 40% down. A regular residential conventional loan on a duplex can be a 25% down and a 30-year fixed mortgage instead of like a 10-year ARM adjusted rate mortgage on a commercial loan. So it makes it more palatable by splitting these up, and I was able to figure out the fact that they are separate duplexes. It's not a sixplex. They're 3 separate duplexes, so I'm going to do 3 separate loans in order to be able to get the 25% down and a fixed 30-year mortgage. So I offered $483 on the 532. They're like not happening. The lowest we'll go is 520. I then countered back at 5, and they came back at 510. So it looks like we're gonna go forward with the deal. I'm gonna run you through some of the numbers. right now. So this is the deal, just in case you haven't seen it. Inside, it's too classic, early 2000s. The flooring's not great. It looks good in this picture. It's not as good as it looks. Pretty rental grade though, but appliances can be upgraded. The outdoor paint colors is horrible. I know a good landscaping company, happen to know one that can fix up a lot of these issues. It just doesn't look well kept for. The current owners have been very hands-off. So it just needs a little bit of love, a little bit of paint. We could probably raise the rents by about $50 a month, and that will help cover some of my costs for management, because I'm not gonna manage these myself. All right, so let's run through the numbers. So let's do it for all 6, so all 3 duplexes. So if we're doing $510K per duplex, basically, let's see if I can spell, that would basically be a $1.53 million for the deal. All right, so we're gonna do 25% down on the deal. So let's do 25%, let's see here, 0.25 times 153,000, boom. So down payment is gonna be $382,500. That's gonna be down payment. We're gonna finance the rest. Again, 25% down, conventional 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Right now rates are really good. Let's see here, 1 second. Oh, sorry, if the loan lady calls me, I'll just answer the phone and you can listen to that. She's just trying to wrap it up with me as well. But basically right now, assuming we get it for $510 and there's not anything that comes up with the inspection or whatever, basically our estimated payment per month is going to be approximately $2,332. But let's do $2,330 per duplex. Now, we're gonna times that by 3 because there's 3 duplexes. So basically our monthly payment, our mortgage is gonna be $6,990. That's going to include principal, interest, principal, interest, and our insurance on the deal. So that's gonna be kind of like all our expenses there. So $6,990. Now, right now, all of these units rent for $1,500. So currently, the rents are $1,500, and we're gonna multiply that by 6 units, so it's $9,000 in cash flow. This is our cash flow each month. This is gonna be our mortgage each month. So technically, if you look at this, the cash flowing, technically $2,100. And that's not taking into account things like repairs and maintenance. However, I do feel that we can increase the rents by $50 right off the bat. And then what we will probably do is $30 per year. We'll increase it just on a sliding scale. So, in 5-10 years, this becomes a good deal from a cash flow perspective. Right now, it's really not that attractive. But if right now we look at $1,500 and we move that to $1,550 and we multiply by 6, now we're going to do an extra $300, so $950. So basically $9,300 in gross rent. Sorry, not cash flow, gross rents per month. Now, I'm gonna have a manager manage this property, so I'm gonna take 10% off the top of gross rents to be managed. So right off the bat, I'm gonna take away $900. So really, at the end of the day, personally to me, I'm gonna be taking $8,400 in terms of, after management. So this is management, blah, blah, blah. And then $8,400 I'd be collecting. I have a $6,900 mortgage coming off of that. So what is that, $1,000, $500, so it's like $1,400. Let's do the math here. Right, you do $8,400 minus $6,990. So yeah, $1,400. That's gonna be my actual cash flow right there. Again, this is not a cash flow super heavy deal. That's $1,400, me not having to manage anything. And right now, I'd rather have my $382,000 down payment in real estate. That's something that I feel is gonna be a really good tax shelter than in stocks where I'm gonna get beat up with taxes. So right now, how I'm kind of looking at this deal is, in terms of a multifamily deal, you wanna look at gross rent multiplier. So gross rent multiplier. So how you do that is, like, currently, if we take all the rents of the existing rents, it's $1,500 per month times 6 equals $9,000. We times that by 12 months in the year. We get 9 times 12. We're looking at $108,000 currently in gross rents for the building. So we got gross rent for the year is $108,000. Now, gross rent multiplier is how much more are you paying for the building. So for example, I'm gonna pay 1,500,300, boom, boom. That's the price. So if I take 1,530,000 and I divide that by my gross rent, 14.17 is going to be my gross rent multiplier. All right, and typically like for a C-level property, like in a really bad area, you know, if you go down south into some states, you might get a gross rent multiplier that's like 20. But traditionally that's gonna be a very rough neighborhood, less appreciation in those neighborhoods typically. Whereas like if you're in a really upscale class A building downtown, you're gonna be like a gross rent multiplier of like maybe 9 or 10. So it's kind of in the middle. It's not the best area of town. I do feel Ferndale is growing. So another thing I look at really quickly here, I don't want to make this too long for you, especially when it comes to multifamily, I'm looking at population. So you can see Ferndale's growing in population, and over the past 10 years, they've almost doubled in their population. No, take that back. They've gone up like 20-30%. So it's growing. And then if I look at, you know, that's a pretty small population, but if I look at Whatcom County population, which is the county it's in, again, it's still increasing pretty dramatically in comparison to even other counties in Washington State. So that's a good thing. Increasing population is going to drive the need for housing up, especially affordable housing like this is in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath scenario. And then the last thing I look at if you're looking at like a multifamily deal is you do want to look at the poverty rate. So the poverty rate in Whatcom County is a little bit higher than the national average. Whoops, poverty rate in Whatcom County. Here we go. So you can see here, Whatcom County, it's 15.3% is the poverty rate in Whatcom County. And that's a little bit higher than the average. But you can see the gross household income, $56,000, which is above average in the area or in the nation. Median value of property. So this is a really good place to look for information in terms of population to see growth, 1.43% growth this year in the population. Things like this are really important when it comes to multifamily, because if you have people moving away from the place, it's gonna put downward pressure on your prices. And if your poverty rate is high, you're also gonna have trouble typically with appreciation of the asset. And in terms of this deal is definitely not a huge money maker in terms of cash flow every month. It's more of a tax savings, but I wanna make sure that it's gonna be an appreciating asset and not in a place where the poverty is so high that in 10 years it's only worth 1.7 or 1.8 million. You know, the goal with this property is to make a little bit of cash flow, but really by the time you include maintenance and repairs, it's gonna be almost break even, maybe make a little bit, but over the course of 10 years, rents will go up in this area because of population going up, and then the property as a whole will appreciate in value, and that's kind of the long-term wealth building strategy. So hopefully that helps someone out there. Thanks so much, have a good one.